Allow me to tell you a tale starring that little star right there. That's the sun. So, around 2050, the exact date's not really known. Conspiracy theorists, they argue about it all the time, but some electron or neutron, I think they call them actrons now, it hit someone in the desert, and they just started moving so fast that they turned themselves into complete energy and disappeared. Um, then about 50 years later, people thought it was fake. It started happening again. And whenever it happened again, it happened a lot. There was people all over the planet just getting hit by these, I'm going to call them actrons. And they started just moving and disappearing. So our scientists designed this spherical shaped dome, and they captured one right as it happened. And he ran around, turned himself into energy, complete energy, and they were able to harness it. So they created an engine out of him, and now every one of our cars has these little engines in them, and we can travel anywhere we want at all. Just if we want to go, 40 light years away, that's no problem. So there's destination planets like we call it like Space Hawaii. There's all these different planets, but I'm gonna just call it Space Hawaii because honestly I don't remember what the name was. People were traveling there too much. They were going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Didn't quite realize that they were cutting a hole in space itself, ripping little tears, and eventually people started disappearing on their way. They just wouldn't show up, they wouldn't come back. And then a third of the planet just collapsed upon itself. And that's when we realized that we were tearing holes in space by traveling that fast. So our greatest scientists of the time, they looked around the Earth and they knew that we left from the Earth every single time, came back to the Earth every single time. So the Earth was no longer safe. It was going to collapse upon itself. They figured out one possible way to save humanity, and it asked humanity to be human. We needed the sacrifice of 1 billion people. And they all turned themselves into energy. And we used that engine to move the Earth. We moved it, I think it was 4 light years, something like that. And then the energy ran out. We just kind of coasted around a star. But then we looked up and we saw the Great Tear, that's what we call it. And we ripped a hole in the sky. And it's kind of like a pun, I assume, because it was a reset, but there was a problem. The second that we ripped that hole open, and we looked up and got our bearings about us, stuff started coming out of it. These creatures started just coming out of the tear. And so I'm still alive. Not many people are at the moment, but they were dark matter creatures, and every single time we traveled, we were shooting holes straight through their planets and their stars. We didn't know, but the second we opened it, war was on.